channel, Bursts of Sunshine. I'm Ashley, and today we're going to be doing some DIY tiered tray Christmas items. These do not have to go on a tiered tray, although they are sized perfectly to fit on tiered trays. So if you want to make them for your tiered trays, you can, or you can literally just set them up anywhere, like on mantles or anything. We are like in full swing of the holiday season. I'm pretty excited. I hope you guys like this video. I hope you like these crafts. I have tons of DIYs for you today, so let's just get into them. Let's go. The first thing we're going to be making today are these mini faux book stacks. These are going to be made out of wood that I got at Lowe's, so it is super cheap and affordable to make, and they turn out so cute. You can customize these however you want. I got this piece of wood from Lowe's. I believe this is a 1x3x6, and I'm going to use this acrylic ruler that I got at Walmart, and I'm just going to measure out 3.5 inches long, and I'm going to make a line all the way across, and I'm going to do that 3 times. My book stack is going to have 3 books on it. You can make as many of these as you want. You can make one with 4 books or however many books you prefer. I'm going with 3. I feel like it's a great size for tiered trays, and it's kind of the standard book stack. So I'm making my 3 lines, and I'm just going to cut these with my jigsaw. You can use any kind of saw, or you could even at Lowe's have them cut it for you for free, as long as you know your measurements. One of these pieces of wood makes, I think, almost 20 of these little tiny squares, so you can make you a few book stacks. I'm going to get some Christmas colors, and I'm going to paint my wood. I use the cheap apple barrel paint from Walmart just because it is super affordable. Once these are painted, I'm going to sand them just to give them a little bit of a distressed look. I'm just going to use this little sandpaper that I got from the Dollar Tree in a pack, and I'm just going to hand sand these. I'm mostly kind of focused around the edges and the corners because I didn't want it to look like severely distressed, just kind of a little distressed on the edges. So I did that to all of my little pieces of wood. Now that these are looking a little bit distressed, it's time to put the words on them. I'm going to leave a link in the description to my Pinterest where I have this graphic linked. However, I would highly suggest using a different font. This one was kind of awful. I did this little weeding trick where I leave all of the inside pieces in until after I get it transferred onto my item, and then I just pick those out. It's just easier for me that way. This also would be super cute staggered like this. I thought that was so stinking cute, but that's not how we're going to do it today. We're kind of going to go with the standard book stack look. So we are going to stack our fake books by using a little bit of hot glue just to hold them together. You can use wood glue if you prefer. I was just trying to do this because it is convenient for me, and I figured it would hold it together enough. It's just for decorative purposes. So now I'm just going to take some cheap jute twine that I got at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to tie this around a bunch of times. As you can see, I lined all of the words up on one side, so that way I would have room for my little bow and my twine on the other side. I think it turned out super cute. I tied a little bow. I used a little bit of hot glue to secure it, and that is it. That is all you have to do. These are customizable. They're super cute, and I absolutely love how this one came out. Next, we're going to be doing just a little mini wooden sign. These are just some scrap woods I had left over from the wood that I used for my book stack. I'm going to take a little piece of wood here. It is, as you can see, 2.5 inches wide, and it's about 3.5 inches long. This is the same size as the wood I used for the book stack. So when you're cutting out your book stacks, you can just take extra pieces of wood for this. I'm going to just paint it red, and then I'm going to put a little graphic on it. I thought this was cute, the fa la la la. Again, I will put a link in the description below of my Pinterest account where I will leave this graphic that I made. It is for personal use, and then I thought it was looking just a little bit too perfect, so I decided I was going to add a little bit of distressing with some paint. So I just used a chip brush and some white paint, and I just kind of dry brushed some white streaks all over it, and I thought it definitely gave it a little bit of extra character. That is all you have to do, and this is done. So now we're going to make a hot cocoa inspired beaded garland. I have these little cup ornaments that I got at the Dollar Tree. I'm going to use one of these to hang on the end of my garland. I'm going to make a line where the cup would end and the whipped topping would begin, and I'm just going to paint the entire cup red. I painted the sides and the back too, which I did not show you guys. That is optional, but I wanted it to look pretty no matter which way it flipped. So now I'm going to take some beads and I'm going to paint them. I got these in the Christmas department at Walmart for like $7 for a 12-foot strand. I'm going to paint them. I have this box. This is from a box of ramen noodles and some fishing line. I just duct taped the fishing line across the box and string some beads on. This is how I'm going to paint them. As you can see, I'm showing you here kind of a rough idea, and that is just going to be how I paint these beads. I would suggest if you could just buy beads in the color you need. That is so much easier than this, because painting these were kind of a pain. It did turn out super cute though. I used a chestnut apple barrel color for the brown, and then just a red and a white. I'm going to paint the top of my charm white with whipped cream, and then I'm just going to use some red and green paint and make sprinkles. But then after I did this, I realized that I didn't need the green because I was kind of not going for a super Christmassy look. So I painted it over in brown, but you couldn't see that part. But I did paint the green sprinkles brown later on. Now, using fishing line, I'm going to string all of my beads on. You could also use some baker's twine or any type of string you want. I just went with fishing line for this. I struggled with tying a knot on this, so I added a little dab of hot glue on the knot on the hot cocoa just to secure it, and I did the same on the other end of the strand. I tied a knot and just added a little bit of hot glue just to secure it so that way my beads would not fall off. To make sure that it is pretty much obvious that this is hot cocoa, I made this graphic that says hot cocoa, and I placed it on my cup. I like that this is kind of an all winter design. It's not necessarily super Christmassy. As you can see, I made a Christmas one as well, so you can make these whatever color you want, but I was kind of aiming for just overall winter for this instead of just Christmas. I think the color scheme just came out perfect. Now we're going to be making a faux hot cocoa. This is going to be pretty much like we did the pumpkin spice. I have these little teacup. It's smaller than a regular mug. It's like teacup size. I got this at a thrift store. If you check out your local thrift stores and Goodwills, they have tons of coffee mugs and teacups of all different sizes and shapes and designs, and these are perfect for these kinds of crafts. I got this one for like, I think 50 cents. I like that it's clear because I can paint the hot cocoa on the inside. So that's what I'm going to do first. I'm just going to take some brown paint. I used this apple barrel melted chocolate that I got from Walmart, and I just put this inside of the cup. I painted it up all of the sides. I let it dry, and it took about 2 or 3 coats for me to get this fully coated where you couldn't see through it, because it is just cheap Walmart paint. This is pretty much the same process I did with the pumpkin spice latte drink that I made back in the fall. I will leave a link in the description below of that video. Now I'm going to take some foam sheet that I got at Walmart. I'm going to lay my cup upside down on top of it, and I'm going to trace it out so I know how big I need my topper to be. This is going to be our base. Now that we have the base done, I'm going to trim it just to make sure it fits on my cup nicely. So now I'm going to take a foam ball that I got at the Dollar Tree in a pack of 3 for $1.25, and I'm going to cut it in half. The bigger the ball, the less whipped cream you're going to need, so keep that in mind when you're doing this. I'm going to hot glue my little half of a ball to my foam sheet, my foam circle here, and that is pretty much our base. I flipped my cup upside down to be like a little holder for it just while I'm piping the whipped topping, which is actually spackle. But I thought that was just a little handy trick, just to use the bottom of the mug as like a little stand to hold it up for you. So now I'm going to use some spackle in a piping bag. I use this Fast and Final. I got this from Lowe's. It's just cheaper to buy the big bulk one if you're going to be doing this a lot. And I use disposable piping bags and a 1M tip. I got the piping bags at the Dollar Tree and the tip at Walmart. The spackle is a lightweight spackle. I definitely prefer it over the Dollar Tree spackle or the spackle that you can find at Walmart. It's just definitely more fluffy, like a whipped topping. I'm just going to pipe this all around on my topper to look like whipped cream. Now I'm going to use some little decorations and a cut up Christmas straw, and this is how we are going to make it look a little more festive. I'm going to use some fake peppermints that I got at Hobby Lobby, half off, because you know their Christmas stuff is almost always on sale. And then I'm going to take this little cut piece of straw and stick it in as well. I have these Christmas sprinkles that I got online, I think in some type of glitter shop. You can find these on Etsy, or just about any shop that specializes in glitters will have these. I sprinkled them on top, but I kind of like pressed them in a little bit, because if you just set them on the spackle, they don't always stick to it. So I did kind of press them in a little bit. I have these little red glitter balls that I got at Hobby Lobby, again half off. And I thought it just added a little bit of extra color, a little bit of something special to this. So I just added these all over the top too. I'm going to let that dry about 24 hours until my spackle is completely hard. Once my spackle is dried, as you can see, you can take it off of the cup and you have a little topper. You can leave this as it is, so you can just set it on your regular mugs. But I do want to attach it to my little teacup to make it a hot cocoa, one full display piece. I'm going to use some E6000 glue If the E6000 is too slow for you, you can also add some dabs of hot glue as well, just to kind of adhere it until the E6000 dries. I'm going to add my topper onto the top, and I'm going to let that dry. Once that is completely dry, you have this beautiful fake hot chocolate. I'm obsessed with these. They look beautiful displayed on a table or a mantle or a tiered tray. These are the cutest. Now we're going to make a mini Santa letter. This is kind of a miniature version of the wooden Santa letter we did in the Santa DIY video. I will link that video in the description below if you want to check out the bigger Santa letters that I made for display. This is going to be a 4-inch by 3-inch piece of wood, and I'm going to use some white paint and I'm going to paint the whole thing. This is a super easy, super simple project, and I really do love this one. At the end, I will show you what it looks like compared to the large one, so you can see a size comparison, but they both turned out super cute. I'm going to take some sandpaper and I'm going to sand, focusing mostly around the edges to kind of give it a distressed, worn look. I just really like that look of it. I'm going to take some black paint and a chip brush and do a little bit of dry brushing to distress it a little bit. I did this very light-handed. I didn't want it to be super dark. Now I'm going to add my vinyl. I will leave a link in the description below to my Pinterest account where you can find this vinyl. Again, I'm doing my little method where I place the whole image there and then I just remove the pieces I don't need. It has been brought to my attention that clause does not actually have an E in it. Guys, it never even crossed my mind. I didn't even know. So I learned something new. That's pretty much all you have to do is put your vinyl decals on, and this is ready to go. Look how cute this turned out. Here it is next to the large one. I love them both. Now we're going to be doing the little mini pillows made out of a dish towel. I did this in the fall time. You can check out my fall DIY video to see the little fall ones I did. They turned out so cute. People on TikTok absolutely love them. I figured I had to make a Christmas version. So I just found a Christmas towel at the Dollar General for $1 that I thought was cute. I trimmed off all the edges and then I just cut it up into little pieces. I tried to make sure there was an even amount of pieces that were evenly sized, so that way there could be a front and a back to each pillow. Once I have all that cut out, I'm going to make sure my hot glue gun is nice and warmed up, and we are going to glue these together. Because this is just done for a tier tray, hot glue will hold it up just fine. So I'm just gluing 3 sides on all of these with wrong sides together. I'm going to leave one side open so that way I can stuff these with cotton. Now that is done, I have some cotton that I got out of a cheap pillow from Walmart, and I'm just going to stuff all of these little tiny miniature pillows, and I'm going to glue the last end shut. In my TikTok where I did my fall DIYs, everyone was saying I should put cinnamon and some good scented things in them, which is a great idea, so I thought I would throw that out there now. You could totally put cinnamon or some other good smelling stuff in these. I didn't, but you totally can. I think that was such a cool idea, and I thought I would share it with you guys. That's all you have to do pretty much to make these little pillows. You're just gluing the fabric together with cotton inside. These look super cute on tier trays, and they're great fillers if you don't have a lot of big items to go on your trays. Now we're going to do a cute Christmas rolling pin. I got these at Hobby Lobby in a pack of 3. They're little wooden rolling pins. You can get these on sale sometimes, but even not on sale, you're only paying like $4 for 3, so it's still a banging deal. I just need one for this project, and I'm just going to paint the main centerpiece red. I'm just going to use this cheap apple barrel paint that I got from Walmart. As you guys know, I love to use like cheap Walmart paint. It coated this really well, one coat, and it was great, good to go. Once I have that painted, I need to let it dry, but since it is round and I painted the whole thing, I'm going to prop it up on 2 little jelly-sized mason jars. Any types of cups would do. I just thought this was a great idea to hold it up in the air so that way the paint didn't get on anything or rub off. Now that it is dry, I'm going to add my decal. I made these words on my Cricut. I believe the font was Cookies and Milk. It might have been the Skinny, but I believe it was Cookies and Milk. You could totally hand paint this on with a paint pen or use stickers if you do not have a Cricut. I've got this baker's twine stuff that I got at Walmart in the gift wrap department. Of course, because it's Christmas time, you can find tons of this kind of stuff. And I'm just going to tie this around the edge, and I'm going to tie it into a bow using a little bit of hot glue to secure it. I'm not a great bow tire, but I try. I did line the words up to the right so that way I would have room for the bow on the left, and I think it just turned out so stinking cute. Final project, we're going to do a wooden present, and we are going to do this out of just a little scrap piece of wood that we had left over from the book stack cutting we did.
This one is only about 1.5 inches wide instead of the 3.5 inches that the book stacks are. I painted it green, which I forgot to record, but I have this ribbon that I got at the Family Dollar for $1. I'm cutting it in half because it was a little bit too wide, and I'm just going to hot glue this around my present like a ribbon. This is like so simple, but it turns out so stinking cute. It's probably one of the cutest things on my tier tray. I then took some of that ribbon and I cut little tiny strips. I took them same little thin pieces of ribbon, I cut it into 4 pieces, and then I'm just going to glue that onto the top to create a bow. 1 piece at a time, just curling them over and gluing them down. That's pretty much all you have to do for this wooden present. It turned out so stinking cute. I'm kind of obsessed. I love it. Here's just a quick overview of what some of these projects look like on my tiered tray. I did make this tiered tray out of Dollar Tree items. If you guys would like to see how I did that, let me know. I would like to do a video and show you guys how I made my beautiful tiered tray. If you want to see how I made these little fake cookies, I will leave a link in the description below. I did that in my Santa DIY video.
Thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked these tier tray DIYs. These are like some of my favorite things so far. I'm so excited. I love them so much. I hope you guys like it. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see every time I post a new video, and I will see you guys next week for another Christmas DIY video. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.